So you're against chemotherapy.
Yeah, I'm not for it, no, because basically it is toxic.
So what's the difference between your natural medicine and Western medicine culture?
Western medicine, you come to see a doctor, you have a, I have a headache. You're going to treat the headache. They give me an aspirin. The way I approach is, okay, you have a headache. Yeah, we treat that headache, but why do you have it?
Then we learned that our water's bad.
Well, it depends where you get your water source. As long as the water's not hungry. Because anytime you have water that's distilled, it has no minerals. So therefore it becomes hungry. So it takes the nutrients out of your body and you drink it.
So distilled water is bad for you?
Yeah,
To
you
drink
don't
it, yeah.
Wow. All right, welcome to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly. I'm here with my co-host, Wayne Lewis.
What up, what up?
And our guest today, Dr. Issels. How we doing?
Issels,
Great, what
how
are
you
you
doing?
Good, man.
Be here.
Just played in the poker tournament.
Yeah, good lucky.
You got some game.
Yeah, I sure
Yeah,
did.
you've been playing for what, like 3 hours?
Yeah, about it.
Yeah.
You made it far, man.
Yeah, man, it's probably the 5th time I play poker.
Wow.
You did
did
good.
well. I'd love to for you to tell everyone what you do.
I'm a naturopathic doctor. I use natural therapies to treat disease process, cancer, chronic fatigue, allergies, colds, long COVID, things like that.
What's long COVID?
Basically, long COVID is when people have the COVID virus and they get COVID, and after a period of time, they still are feeling sick, weakened, fatigue, clotting issues, and that means a breakdown of the body system function.
What about the residual? Like granted, that might be it, but like, 'cause I know someone who's suffering from like post-COVID is what they're called.
Yeah, that's long COVID.
Yeah,
that's the same thing.
But
It's
it's been like a year though.
What? Up to 2 years. It's basically side effects of the COVID virus are still present, and if affect.
But how can a sickness have a side effect?
What do you mean? A lot of side effects.
How can a sickness have that's in medication, right?
Well, no, look at side effects. Look at the common cold, runny nose, right? It's a side effect of the
I
cold.
got you. Okay.
Or those things are the side effect.
Got you.
Basically, what the disease causes.
So Wayne has terrible allergies. What advice
Yeah.
would you recommend him?
What type of when are your allergies? Are they mostly in
It depends. So
April, spring?
So right now I have a regimen where I blow my nose, obviously, direct air in my nose activates different places. So I'll be kind of cautious on traveling.
Right.
Like I miss out on a lot of different events just because I don't want to be miserable while I'm there.
Right.
So I'm just kind of cautious on like traveling and stuff like that because my nasal cavity's like closed. They don't just like, people have flare-ups and they sneeze. Mine,
Right.
I can't breathe at all. There's no like air in or air out. It's just like
Just
empty.
your nose, or also your throat as well? It's mostly the nose, or is it?
Yeah, it's mostly here. It's
Okay.
mostly here. So, stick with kind of doing the antibiotics and
Right.
steroids, and they always recommend surgery. That's,
Do you have polyps?
what is that?
Basically, growths in the sinus which kind of block the airflow, like a little, it's almost like a little wart inside inside nasal passages, which can cause.
But okay, so would that be a flare-up though? Would you want to experience that? Like,
No, that would be basically that's something you have chronically.
it'll be constant,
Yeah.
right? No, I don't have it.
Okay, when you have a flare up.
Shit, man, it varies. It's like, put it like this: when I don't have one, I'm excited.
Cool. Okay.
So often.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of things there. Stress can cause a flare up.
Wine. Wine because it has a histamine
yeah.
in it. It has a histamine
Sulfates.
in it. That's crazy. You didn't even know that, huh?
I didn't know that.
Wine has a
There's a thing called it's a product. Can I mention products here?
Yeah.
One's called DHist. It's a very, very effective for allergies. Another thing that's good for allergies would be NAC, nasal cysteine. What that does, it thins the mucus, it reduces swelling. Another thing is taking bicarbonate. Like take some soda water, and then like baking soda, mix it up in water and drink it. Just when you have a reaction to it, it really kind of slows it down quite a bit.
What about
Wow.
when you're not having flare-ups? Like, what's the preventative measure?
Well, that's
like
the-
when
that would
like when
be
I'm
the-
having a good day.
Right.
Like, what should I do day in and day
Well,
out to keep
well,
having good days?
Reduce the stress.
Okay.
Don't drink the wine. Don't eat like any junk food, like any type of sausages, hot dogs, anything which has sulfates in it. That'll reduce that. But stress is a big one. And secondly, another thing is that there's a big connection between allergies and digestion. If you have a bad digestive tract, you'll be likely to be allergic to other things. Foods can do it too.
Okay.
And you can have runny nose from foods.
Wow.
Like you said, the wine gets you.
Wine gets me, and I found that out because the doctor asked me, he said, "How often do you drink wine?" I'm like, I buy wine. It's in my
Right.
refrigerator. He said, "Well, that could be the cause of it." I'm like, "I'm allergic to wine." He said, "No, it has a histamine in it." Lo and behold, I looked it up. Wine has a histamine in it. So what that does is there's an antihistamine and then there's a histamine. So there's a counter reaction that your body has to it. So it creates allergy. So you have to take a Claritin before drinking wine.
Interesting.
But the one thing you drink the wine, and if when it travels down your esophagus into your stomach, and if you have a good barrier function in your gut, that would not cause an issue for you. But if you have a bad barrier function, the idea is like having you have 3 different barriers. You have the mucous membranes, you have the skin, and GI tract. All these are barriers that keeps bad things out of your body. If those barriers are weakened, things will enter your body and cause an allergic response to it. So to really fix that issue is by actually fixing the barrier functions. And the things to do that would be, number one, using digestive enzymes, using fish oils, and a good multivitamin, and help you, help you digest.
You said vitamin D?
No, fish oils.
Oh, fish
multivitamin.
oil, yeah.
Multivitamin, yes.
Okay.
Be the
I
best.
take fish oils daily. Omega-3, right?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
many milligrams do you take?
It's the 2. I don't know how many milligrams. It's 2 of the big.
But are you buying yours from like a normal store, or do you get them from
Amazon?
Specific? Yeah, I want to know like where to get like the actual good vitamins at, not like the generic stuff that they sell.
Well, you probably have to go to Western Nordic is very good. I'm not sure you can get it on Amazon, but you looked at
It's called
Western Nordic.
Western Nordic.
Yeah, they have a very good fish oil.
Okay.
Another thing is a good place to buy would be Whole Foods as well.
Whole Foods.
Okay.
And we have it.
So what's the difference between your natural medicine and Western medicine culture?
Well, basically, our approach is different. When you have Western medicine, you come to see a doctor. You have I have a headache. They're going to treat the headache. Okay, you have a headache. Let's give you an aspirin. The way I approach is, okay, you have a headache. Yeah, we treat that headache, but why do you have it? What caused the headache to occur? What are the reasons? I mean, are you highly stressed? Are you allergic to things? Are you having a bug? Are you having an infection? I mean, what's causing your headache? When does it flare up?
Yeah.
Or the
Are you
same thing.
dehydrated? I found that out too.
Part of that too.
Dehydration.
Back pain and dehydration is huge.
Huh?
Wow.
Back pain.
Oh,
Lower back
wow.
pain if you don't drink enough
You
fluids.
serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I have a lot of back pain.
If you don't drink enough,
And then we learned that our water's bad. That we're drinking. Like I'm drinking a lot of water. He drinks a lot of water, but then that water's not good enough. We have to make it mineral water by putting Himalayan salt in there, right?
Well, it depends where you get your water source. I mean, if you go, for example, you go to Whole Foods and get yourself, some of those pH balanced waters, they're fine. As long as the water's not hungry, because anytime you have water is distilled, it has no nutrients in it, no minerals. So therefore it becomes hungry. So it takes the nutrients out of your body and you drink it.
So distilled water is bad for you?
Yeah, you
To
don't
drink it,
drink
yeah.
Wow.
My
Yeah.
car only takes this distilled water.
Really?
Yeah, my sports car you only can put distilled water in there.
Wow.
That will make it dry.
Are you a fan of mushrooms?
Yes, I do like mushrooms. Mushrooms are really a very effective way to build up the immune system.
So why has this been like this negative stigma and like taboo when it came to mushrooms? It's really, they taught us in school that shit was like bad for you. Like don't take mushrooms. It was just something.
Well, they have different components which are very strong immune boosting, help natural killer function, helps immune response. But then you also have the magic mushrooms, the psilocybins. Those are different.
Oh, those are different.
Yeah, there's
from the
actually
actual-
immune mushrooms like shiitake, turkey tail. You can take those and they
Okay.
build immune function up and fight cancer. But then you have the psilocybins, which are the ones which kind of make you a little high.
But okay, so what purpose does the psilocybins have?
Well, they can relax you. Another part what they do is actually have a really great way to calm down your nervous system. And when you take those psilocybin drugs, the mushrooms, you actually want to clear up your life because it changes your brain chemistry in a positive manner. So it's suddenly, instead of being, people get high, they kind of get really tired the next day. They don't want to do anything.
Right.
But when you take psilocybin, you actually want to clean up the house and do something proactive. So it's a really,
So psilocybins are good too.
yeah, they're very good.
If
I mean,
used
they're
in
not
moderation.
curative, but of course, you don't want to be high all the time.
Yeah. So how can someone with a family history of cancer prevent getting cancer?
Well, number one, the idea is what caused the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the family, is it related to genetics?
Mm.
You know, and is it related to, for example, sometimes chronic viral infection can cause cancer, like Epstein-Barr,
Mm.
cytomegalovirus, and it can cause an immune suppression. And once that occurs, the immune system no longer pays attention to the tissue. You know, for example, breast cancer or colon cancer or prostate cancer doesn't pay attention to the area.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, whatever goes on that area is not going to be surveilled by the immune system, and that
Wow.
that can cause the cancer to grow.
Mm.
You know, when you look at cancer patients, the most common thing I hear is, doctor, you know, I haven't had a cold in 10 years, you know, and now I have cancer. How's that possible? And the answer to that is its immune system's not that it's weak, it's unfocused.
Mm.
So it doesn't pay attention where it needs to go. And those things can be caused by viral infection, can be related to bad diet, high stress, whatever inhibits the immune function or whatever distracts the immune function is a problem.
Oh, so you can still not be sick, but you can have a bad immune system
Yeah.
and not ever get sick.
Well, no, the immune system, it's not bad. It's not focused on the cancer.
Right.
Oh, it's not
So
focused
basically,
on the
you
cancer.
don't, if you get exposed to the common cold, you'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then the area where the person gets the cancer, like for example, prostate cancer, that area is no longer surveilled properly.
Yeah.
So therefore, it can go there, and then the body says, that's totally fine here. I'm not worried about it. I'm not paying attention to the prostate. So whatever goes on the prostate, it's not going to be surveilled. And the immune system does take care of every other part of the body, but I don't take part of that
Mm.
area of
Yeah,
concern.
because I'm never sick. So, but that's interesting that you say that the body
Yeah.
the immune system can be focused.
Well, you know, think about this like the armed services. You have the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
you got the Air Force, and you got, well, it's the Army, right?
Military,
But-
you got the
Army, yeah.
Marine.
Well,
Yeah.
but then you have subgroups.
Mhm.
Then you have, you know, the Navy has the Marines.
The Navy
You know,
SEALs.
the Army has the Rangers.
Mhm.
See, our immune system has different parts to it, and have different
Mm.
parts to do a different job.
Yeah.
And whatever job is is not working out right can cause a
That
problem
makes
down the line.
sense. What about food wise? So what foods are linked to preventing cancer and what foods are linked to causing cancer?
Well, the most thing to take without, to prevent cancer is using a low carbohydrate diet, low carbohydrates, a lot of greens, like I said, like eating mushrooms would be very beneficial. Eating organic meats, that'd be beneficial. You can take a good multivitamin, of course. Beets are very good. That's a good call. Beets.
Yeah, there's a guy here. He makes beets juice.
Mm.
It's disgusting, but his wife beat
Disgusting.
stage 4 cancer.
Just
Yeah,
by
we're-
drinking that?
Yeah,
Well, the
Whoa.
green
She-
juices too. I mean,
he
green
wouldn't let her go to
juices,
the doctor.
carrot
Wow.
juice, green,
Yeah.
celery.
He said carrots too. Is
Yeah,
carrots. a
carrots.
thing?
Again, you got to
Carrots.
be careful of carrots, depending on the blood type.
Right.
Yeah.
If you, for example, if you're an O, carrots are not going to work for you. If you're an A, they will work for you.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then what foods cause cancer?
Well, high sugar, like processed foods,
Okay.
like
So unnatural foods.
correct. Well, anything that's processed, and eat, donuts, hot dogs,
Yeah.
Right.
things like that.
I see donuts a lot.
And then can you treat cancer naturally
Yeah.
if you
absolutely.
have like stage 3 or stage 4?
you can definitely treat it naturally. I mean, you may not get a cure from that, but you can treat and support the immune system so it can have a good outcome. And then you can actually take that another step where you would take it to, for example, what we have actually cell therapy we do in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and we use the natural killer cells,
Mm.
dendritic cells, and T cells.
Mm.
We take them out of the patient's bloodstream, activate them, re-inject them as a treatment.
Wow.
And that really takes their own immune system and activates to fight the cancer.
Wow.
Wow.
So you're against chemotherapy.
Yeah, I'm not for it now, because basically it is toxic,
Mm. Yeah, you're poisoning your body, right?
right? And you take something which is toxic and which damages your body, and hope the damage is not as severe. I mean, the cancer damage would be more severe than your body's system damage.
So what
you-
should me and Sean be doing daily to be proactive about preventing cancer? Like, what should we be drinking?
Well, I drink, how much water do you drink a day?
I don't feel like I drink enough some days. Other days I feel like I can overindulge, but I usually grab a water before I will anything else, or some kind of drink that has little to no sugar.
Yeah, water is important, and I would definitely, make sure you do not avoid carbohydrates.
Avoid
Yeah,
carbohydrates.
because think about carbohydrates, it's kind of like it's a very corrosive substance.
Mm.
And you pick people with diabetes. What do you hear about diabetes? You see people have circulation issues in the legs. The blood vessels get, hardened. The nerves gets damaged. It's inflammatory. It's like rusting, body rust. And what it also does, it causes your stress levels to go up as well. I mean, stress is the biggest issue with immune function. And what people are not aware of is that when you eat a banana and you take the banana in straight, it goes right in your bloodstream and causes a sugar spike inside your body. So your body has to use insulin to get the sugar level down. Then it goes because it's a very rapid spike. It took so it's going to be a rapid response. So the insulin's going to get kicked in, going to drop. So the sugar's going to drop. But it almost says, oh my God, I have low blood sugar now. I need to have sugar. Then it goes to the adrenals, tells the adrenals to go to the liver to make more sugar. And that kind of experience is like running from the tiger. And every time you eat carbohydrates in large amounts, that will repeat itself.
So don't eat the banana?
Well, you don't want to eat the banana directly. You want to combine the banana with some type of protein or some type of
Wow. I always eat bananas directly.
Yeah, I actually like bananas.
Bananas are good, but again, you make sure you don't eat it by itself.
So what protein should you eat a banana with?
Well, I would say probably you can do it with almonds. You can put some almond butter on there. You can probably eat a banana with eggs wouldn't really work, but I mean any type of protein powder would work as well. As long as the idea is when you take carbohydrates into your system, you want to make sure the level doesn't spike like this.
Oh, so you
want
want
to have a level of sugar going up through time, so it doesn't spike. Because what happens is when sugar spikes, the cell that uses most of the sugar, like the cancer cell, will use it up more effectively.
Oh, so basically eat a donut with chicken.
Right.
Well, in a sense,
so waffle and chicken instead of
Chicken.
Wow, that's a good tip because I'm gonna stop eating bananas plain now.
So basically, you want to have a protein along with it. If you're gonna eat a carb, make sure you eat a protein with it. So if I eat a donut, make sure I have a baked salmon and eating it with the donut.
Why a baked salmon?
That's kind of gross.
I would recommend that.
You wouldn't?
No, not salmon, but donut.
I think the donut he wouldn't recommend. In general.
Yeah, but the salmon in the donut would be just evil.
How important is eating organic?
Very important.
Do you only eat organic?
Most of the time. You cannot do it all the time, but I try to.
Yeah.
Wow, because that's expensive, right?
It is expensive, but think about this. If you look at the food source, I mean, whatever you take in, you will absorb. It's like having a good fuel for the car. So if you have a good source of protein, like for example, organic meats are very important. Organic chicken. What happens with organic chickens is that those chickens are not inflammatory. Regular meats are inflammatory, but they have a combination of omega-6, omega-3, omega-9 to make it less inflammatory. And if you look at the eggs, when you eat eggs, if the yolks are really, well, these days you can tell because people can fake it. But in general, when the egg yolks are very yellow, means they're really, really healthy.
Really?
But organic meats are important. Of course, you want to eat organic, vegetables if you can. Because anytime you take additional pesticides into your body, it can cause some damage. And then the body has to process those pesticides through the liver, and it can cause liver stress.
So organic vegetables don't use pesticides?
No, they don't.
But regular vegetables do?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, also pesticides and herbicides, so to make sure they don't have. I mean, they use a lot of chemicals to allow them to grow fast.
Right. So diet-wise, what is your diet? Like, are you a paleo?
I'm almost more of a carnivore.
Carnivore.
So you eat a lot of proteins and
Only meat.
Mostly meat, yeah.
Oh, for real.
And you don't have any constipation issues from that?
No.
Interesting.
Well, again, the constipation comes from the combination of different processed foods. I mean, there's a lot of times, for example, one example, look at this. If you how do you eat your meat when you eat your meat? How do you normally eat it?
Medium.
Have you ever tried a medium rare?
Yeah, it's too bloody for me, but yeah, I've tried it.
Okay, so usually when you eat a piece of meat, which is medium or well done, it takes a longer time to digest.
Really?
Because they're the rarer meats have more enzymes present inside the meat. So, for example, you ever eat sushi?
Yeah.
When you eat sushi, how long does the food stay in your belly? Like after 2 hours, you feel like you can eat again, right?
Right.
Again, the food is alive. Not really alive, but it's not processed.
Wow, that's interesting.
So the enzymes are still present in the fish, so the digestive tract can do it much faster.
Wow.
And if
So the more alive the food is, the easier it's your body to digest
I mean,
it.
it's easier to
Wow.
assimilate.
So the blood in the meat, eating bloody meat, is actually a good thing.
Yeah, as long as it's well taken care of. I mean, make sure you have a good source. I mean,
Hey,
even
man,
when
it's
you eat.
just can't see myself. I've
How
never.
about eating fish? Do you eat fish?
I'm gonna be a pescatarian.
Do you eat
mostly.
sushi?
Yes,
So you eat raw fish,
Yeah.
I'll eat raw fish.
Yes.
but not raw meat.
I can't eat it.
I wouldn't necessarily have to do it raw. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
but again, I mean, the best way to tell if you eat something and it takes, when you look at the picture of digestion in general, if it takes more than 2 hours to get out of your belly, it's not working for you.
Wow.
So if you eat a meal and you feel it in your belly 2 hours later, it's either number one, don't have enough digestive enzymes, it was overprocessed, or you have a reaction to it. But it should not stay in your belly for that long.
Are there natural ways to prevent Alzheimer's?
Yeah, I mean, it's the key thing is getting a good fatty diet. Because you have a lot of fish or fatty acids, because that's basically helps with the neurons, and then also you want to make sure you don't eat a lot of don't have too much metals, heavy metals in your system,
Right.
and one other thing, and you just support your nervous system function.
So you believe a lot of disease is caused by diet?
Most of them, I believe.
A lot of diseases, it's multifactorial.
Yeah.
I mean, diet is important. Life. I mean, again, what you do for a living is important.
But there are some people, Doc, that I see have terrible lifestyles and they fucking live until.
Well, I was gonna get to that.
Like they're made of like
Yeah.
rock or something.
Well,
Genetics.
I mean, you also have to think genetics too.
Yeah.
If you have very good genetics, you can live very poorly and have a long lifespan.
That's because your body's strong.
Well, your body has has proper processing,
Okay.
and if you don't have good genetics, you gotta live very, very cleanly. So if
Gotcha.
you have people, there's this diagram, like it's hard to do live like this, but basically it's a triangle. And if one side, the upper level of the triangle tells you, okay, this is lifestyle. Sorry, is genetics.
Yeah.
And then the other one is diet.
Right.
And if you have a good genetic background, you can have a very poor lifestyle and live a long time. But if you have very bad genetics, you have to have a very good lifestyle to survive.
Right.
That's why some people when they hit a certain age group, they get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know some guys that are probably younger than me and Sean both, and sick already, and look old, and they're just
I used to get sick every month because I didn't take care of my body.
Yeah, I mean,
So diet definitely plays a huge role.
It's easy to do. I mean, easy to fix. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go see a doctor. So you just
Well,
have to,
yeah. I didn't know I was allergic to most carbs, so I was eating that my whole life and getting sick from it.
Well, most people are allergic to carbs.
Yeah. I'm allergic to
Yeah,
fortified and enriched carbs,
Okay.
so
what do you do for it?
I just avoid it now. Yeah.
You take digestive enzymes?
I take a probiotic, yeah.
Oh no, digestive enzymes.
No, what is that?
Basically, it's something you take to help you digest the food.
Oh,
Probiotics
okay.
gives you the flora of a healthy gut, but digestive enzymes give you digestive enzymes to break down the food properly.
Got it. Yeah, I just try to avoid it completely.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
good.
So why do you think obesity and disease is at an all-time high right now?
Well,
Crazy.
that's number one. I think that the diet is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
people have a lot of processed foods, and they have less activity, and there's a lot of they did a study where they took a man who was morbidly obese, and what they did is they fed him. It's called. You know what olestra is? Have you heard the name olestra before?
Cholesterol? No.
Basically, that's an oil that's not absorbed
Okay.
by his GI system. And he was morbidly obese. He was diabetic, and he had a heart condition. And what they did is for him, they changed his lifestyle by giving him. What even they changed? They gave him 5 olestra chips 3 times a day. They did it for 3 years. In that time frame, he lost all the weight. He lost his diabetes and his heart issue. What happened was
because they did what?
Say it again.
It's a pill, right?
It's basically olestra. It's basically potato chips with an oil that cannot be absorbed. It came out in 2000s, which basically was an oil which was not absorbable. So people can eat normal potato chips, but they would not get
Fat.
fat, right?
Got it.
Wow, that's
But
crazy.
it's not absorbable, so therefore all the toxins which are stored in fat got absorbed
Mm.
in that fat in the gut from the cholesterol.
Mm.
So all that time frame, all these toxins got expelled.
Wow.
And after that time frame, the side effects caused by these toxins reversed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing that's obesity. Basically, obesity is a way the body stores toxins. So if your body has toxic exposures, you will be more heavy, more obese.
Wow.
Okay, and then of course, not exercising, things like that make a difference as well.
Interesting.
Wow. Question.
Yes.
Is the watermelon has a natural Viagra in it, right?
I haven't heard that. No.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watermelon
People
has
drink watermelon juice and then they get.
has a natural Viagra in it.
Well, I think it's I'm not sure. I have to double check. It may have the amino acid L-arginine in it, which causes vasodilation.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on seedless fruits? Because there's a debate that they're not good for you.
I think it's fake.
Well, they're genetically modified, you know.
Yeah.
So basically, they're usually fruits supposed to have seeds.
Yeah.
And I believe you should eat foods that have been modified, genetically speaking. This is going to affect, because the tissues are different.
Mm.
You may have it may look the same, but the way it's produced, it's no longer the same type of fruit or the same type of animal.
Right.
Yeah, like those grapes that taste like cotton candy.
The seedless. Yeah.
Like, why would I want to eat those?
And you told me about cauliflower is not a real
yeah,
plant.
cauliflower is it's no good.
So I stopped eating that. So you're not a fan of GMOs.
No, well, they're very dangerous.
Right. So what foods are commonly associated with GMOs?
Tofu.
Tofu.
I mean, yeah, that's a big one. I mean, a lot of times you have, vegetables which are GMO. And you have to say specifically on that non-GMO before you want to buy it.
Wow. Doctor, it's been a pleasure. Any closing thoughts?
Well, then just stay healthy.
Stay healthy, people. Can't beat that.
Right.
Wayne?
Yo, follow me on Instagram @TheCreator.
Sean Kelly, Digital Social Hour. I'll see you guys next week.
Peace.